welcome back to my channel. Today I'm playing with my Counterfeit Kit Challenge, and I'm also playing with Color Stories Inspiration, or the CSI Challenge. And I'm using this Tracy Reed design sketch, and it's number 28, and you can get it off her website. The case is from the CSI, and so I'm using this picture and some of the prompts to be able to work with my pictures today. And so this is on their Facebook group, but if you go to their website, there's a whole bunch more prompts like this and the colors set out. So this makes it gives you a lot of direction when you're making a page if you want it. So the evidence that I used was wood grain, floral, not puffy stickers, spring themed elements, flowers, things with wings, and then under the next column, something about spring. And definitely those colors. So I do have the sketch that I'm using up at the top. I am documenting these 3 pictures of my oldest daughter when she was about 4 and her aunt. They were out for a walk in Fish Creek Park and they had some birdseed and they were feeding the chickadees in spring. So look at all that snow. That is spring for us. So it's actually April right now. This was done in April too, a long time ago, but our Aprils usually have snow. I still have snow in my backyard, so yay. So on Tracy's website, if you click on the sketch, it actually gives you some of the dimensions that the sketch has. I did not follow those dimensions exactly, which is totally fine. I still get 4 columns. My columns are a little different, and that's okay. My pictures are actually quite a bit bigger because I didn't want to cut heads or feet off of either one of these people. So, and then I'm using the printables from Scrap-A-Sketch. So these are from This Is Life, or This Year April, sorry, and Painted Garden. So the April one is a newer collection, not her newest, just had a few things that have released this week actually. And then the Painted Garden I think was from last year. But pulling out some stuff to use. I really like the colors in these. They're similar to the colors in the prompt, and flowers, and yeah, lots of flowers. So these ones are flowers. And so I am cutting these to be just shy of 3 inches. Like, 1, 2, just shy. It's not even a 1/4 inch off. It's like a 1/16 of an inch off, so, and not quite yet, but they will be. I think these I cut to 3 by 5 to start with, because that's, I think, is what my photos are. And then I place it down a little bit. I started with the blue. If you saw the picture at the beginning, you know it doesn't stay on blue. I found the blue a little distracting and competing with the other blue floral butterfly print that I've got going, so it makes it look a little more purple than blue for the background, and it was okay. I usually don't go with white when I use printables that are on like a white background, because I find that my whites are not usually the same, but there's very little of the white that's coming out that it wasn't a big deal. And I needed a little bit more, so just cutting some more pieces out. And then, as you notice, I don't have my wood grain yet, and so I'm looking. I know I need something else because the 3 that I have right now aren't quite enough, and this wood grain ties in a lot of the colors, and oh, it's so much fun, that chevron. So yeah, so I did print these on my at-home printer, which is an Epson. It's a tank one. It's not an expensive fancy one by any means, but I did print it at One side is at like 29% and the other side is at I think it was like 50%, just to get that pattern a little different. But I did not use the fit to screen feature, but that allows me to have some different size of these prints, which you would get in like a printed collection when you buy like a 12 by 12 and then a 6 by 6 paper pad. So that's a fun way to play around with the pattern. So you can see the two at the top there. One is a lot closer than the other. So you really can play with the scale, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So now obviously I've decided on that white, and just I skipped through kind of that placement because it was a lot. And then I'm using this red tape, and as you can see that the tape runner is not working properly, so I'm just trying to get this on. So I am gonna tape it, I'm gonna put it down, and it is about a 1/16 of an inch in, and then there'll be about that between, and then this is me getting the last little bit on. So there again you can see the different scale when I printed them, and I just printed one on one side, and then just in my printer printed the other scale at the other side, because I'm going to use one or the other. So, and it's the same pattern, so saves me on paper but allows me to make some of those decisions after. And try and get those lined up. So there's about, I would say about a 1/16 of an inch in between everything. So not a lot, but enough to show that peek through like it is on the sketch. And then I don't want them to overlap too much from the other side, but yep. And then this one, I did chop these down. I think I took a 1/16 of an inch off just so that I had a little bit more available in between, because if it was the 3x4 then I wasn't going to get that space in between, which is totally, would have been fine too, but not quite what the sketch shows. So, and then just trying to work out the rest. I was hoping to not have to put a whole block underneath that picture because a lot of it gets hidden, but you actually see some of it. So I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. And where would this be if that was that full length? I literally go and do that full length anyway. That's okay. And then I got, in all the messing around, I got the piece in that tape roller to go back in. I don't know how, it just eventually did, so yay. And then it runs out here right away. This is not my favorite tape that I've had, so it was cheaper than the other tape I normally get and was available a little bit quicker, but for the stress of it sticking and gumming up and not working properly, and it didn't feel like it lasted as long as the other stuff I use. So yep, just making sure this is all nice and straight. That was actually not too bad to put together for the background, and yes, I did not strategically place any of those patterns for my pictures because oh well. It's a little bit of ink and a little bit of paper, and I wasn't worried about saving the little bits of this one because I can print it anytime I want. So that's like one of the lovely things about a digital collection, is you literally can print it as many times as you want. So it's a little bit about these pictures. My daughter spent a lot of time with my mother-in-law and her aunts when she was little, and so they went for walks all the time. So they're walking at Fish Creek Park, which is one of their favorite places to walk, and Matea's actually calling the birds down is what Nana said last week when I showed her this page before I've done all of this. So my journaling that I put on it doesn't indicate that part of it, but I'll write that on the back so Matea knows. That's my kiddo. So, and then just a little bit in a black border because I thought they needed just a little bit more oomph. And then this third picture is going to be up just a little bit higher than it is in the sketch, but that's okay. And that one that's behind that middle picture could have come right off for that pattern, but that's okay too. These are the printables from both this year April and the Painted Garden. So as you can see, some of them I've already fussy cut, some of them I haven't, and I'm just following somewhat the sketch. So there's a tag in that bottom corner and there's a tag up here, and then there's some stars around. I'm going to use some of the ephemera that goes along with the birds in spring because why not? So I did fussy cut this bluebird out. It doesn't stay, so yeah. I'm surprised I left that in, but that's okay. It doesn't take long to fussy cut this, and most of this I sit with my stuff when I have some fussy cutting upstairs and like just cut it out and put it in a little iris container and away we go. Not a big deal. It literally doesn't take too long. I thought about that rain boot because my daughter is in rain boots because it is that kind of weather. Warm enough not for winters, not warm enough or dry enough for runners. So she loved those rain boots that she's got on. But yeah. So just popping through this. So some of the stuff that I'm going through right now is mostly this year April. The purple one's really cute. That yellow one was from the Painted Garden. This bird is really cute, and that one's from this year. I imagine I'll use quite a bit of this collection or these collections in the month. I know I do have 2 more pages that I've done already that are with this collection, and I'm thinking I'll probably do an Easter one with some of this because it'll go quite nice. And so I don't need all of the get to tag part because it just gets underneath. So cut it off. Use those other bits probably later. And trying to sort out where I kind of want that. I do want it at an angle like it is in the sketch. In the sketch it looks like maybe that one's underneath the one below it, but I don't want to cover up her boots, so it's going to go on top because that's super fun. Committing to where these are because I don't want to move them around again. So that little birdie sits just perfectly on that shelf that kind of ends up there, and it gives a little bit of definition between those 2 wood grains that overlap, and so I really like how that works out. So just getting some embellishment down. That birdhouse is from the Painted Garden one. I'm going to switch it out for this life one in a second. But that little blue bird is quite cute too, but he doesn't make it. And that one stays, but it's also wood grain. So I thought it worked well with the prompts. and obviously florals are on here, and we have wood grain paper, and we have florals, lots of florals, lots of florals everywhere. So, and then the heart's still trying to get this burned on, but nah. And that one goes back on. I thought about this banner would be cute. It's got all the colors, but meh. And then there is a little block. No, I thought there was a little block underneath here. I guess there is. It's just lower down and not behind the tag, in front of the tag. Mine's going behind the tag and just adding a little bit more purple because there's purple in those flowers. And I am going to use the other half of that here in a minute. Doing a little bit better trim job on this heart. It's going to go there for now, but it's not going to stay there. Lots of fussing. Making decisions. I really like this yellow bird. I think it is so stinking cute. That green heart would have been fine, but it doesn't stay, and the purple one doesn't stay. And I'm just playing around. Nope. It could have stayed there, but it doesn't. These pink ones I do use, but they move. Alright, and then my little journaling block. I tried this out as just a layering piece in a couple spots. It's going to go here, and I'm going to leave enough that I can do the tiniest bit of journaling on it. And that one's going to stay there. This one is not going on there. Those are not going on there. And thinking. So now I'm going to pull out my Hip Kit Club stuff. And so this was a spring one, and the colors match really well. So I'm going to pull out a few things off of these chipboard pieces because why not? So it gets this orange one that says love, and it's pretty much the same orange. And so then I'm going to put this star up here that is also the same orange. I'm going to put a little chipboard heart down here. These are all stickers, which is lovely. And then my journaling, Auntie Andrea and you feeding birds in Fish Creek Park. And this says, oh, so very sweet. And I'm going to put it there for now, but it's going to move. And then I went and got some thread, some ribbon. I don't know. It's like very, very fluffy. And it reminded me of like kind of like feathers. And this blue and the green are in the paper. So I figured, why not? This is all I have left of it. So we'll get some more of it on. Eventually it'll be used up. It came from like a baby collection like 18 years ago. So yeah, it might be my oldest ribbon. I can't guarantee that, but it might be. So just trying to figure out where I want this oh so very sweet so you can still read it and it doesn't get overtaken by the ribbon. And it is going to get right here is where it's going to actually live. Put a staple in those so that they stay. And up, nope, like it better down. That one's good. Yay. Just move that a little bit. And add a little more glue. And then I did think about putting this in one other spot, but no. And then I'm going to use my glossy accents, and I'm going over the 2 pink hearts to make them look more like puffy stickers and give them some shine. They actually curl up because the weight of cardstock isn't super thick, but that's okay. I'm not fussed about them curling up. They do tend to dry a little bit darker, so. And then I have a couple sticker pages that I'm looking at, and these are from oh my goodness, oh, I can't remember right now, but it gets 2 stickers and it's done. You can see some of that gloss from the glossy accents. It's not quite dry yet, but it is dry when you look in the pictures, which are coming up right here. The sticker book was Jen Hatfield. So some close-ups here. Look how pretty that paper is. And that hello sticker was Jen Hatfield. And so cute. So happy with it. And there it is all together. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like if you liked my video. Click to subscribe, and there's some other videos here that you might enjoy. Thanks again for watching. Have yourself a great day.